back. I'm here with Barns Courtney for another episode of 91X Riffs.
Hi, everybody.
What are we going to play today?
Today, I thought we would play my song 99.
Yeah.
So, I don't actually know anything about guitars or guitar chords.
Okay.
I mainly just stand at the front of the stage like this while my guitarist puts his arms through my arms. I mean, it's not that bad, but...
That's better than air guitaring it and having it, air guitaring to a backing track.
Yeah, but air guitar is kind of awesome at the same time. So
it is.
I feel like that's going to make a feature at some point. But, yeah, so, I mean, I just learned how to play guitar for this project, really. I was always a singer in bands, so...
No kidding.
Yeah, like, I'd always been in bands, and I never wanted to be a solo artist. Because I love the camaraderie of having your guys on the road.
Absolutely.
So I just always wrote with my band. And when I became a solo artist, I kind of thought, well, I better learn how to play an instrument. So I know the chords, but I don't know what they're called.
Okay.
This will be interesting. Okay. I know this one's called E, so it starts with E. So it kind of starts, heart strong and down. And then you slide up to this guy here, whatever that is. Bar chord number 4.
Right, bar chord 4th fret. Then up to the 5th, a little half step.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the verse.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all palm muted.
And you're sliding up, so you're putting down.
Yeah, I always like to kind of do those
cool.
lazy. And then
slide up there.
So after 4 runs of that, it kind of goes.
Oh, that's you just move the whole chord up to
6th fret. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a guitar teacher. Kind of goes back, but you change up the rhythm a bit, kind of make it a little swaggery.
Yeah, a little swaggery. Is that what you said?
Swaggery, yeah. And then back to the.
And just as that once.
Yes, it's like ba 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 da ba da. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the chorus is pretty much the same. It's just in 1990. In 1999. And that's like the whole song.
Simple.
Done.
Simple. I love it.
See, that's the nice thing about not really knowing how to play guitar is that all your songs are super easy to learn.
Yeah, and you change the parts change based on more dynamics than harmony.
Yeah,
right?
I don't need any of that fancy college book learning guitar playing.
No, who does,
it's
honestly?
It's about soul. It's not about musicianship.
Well, a lot of people would say musicianship resides on soul,
A lot of those people would be musicians.
This is great. Full of disclaimers here.
So yeah, I mean, like, that's it. That's done.
There you go. So it's just, you just got to learn open E chord. And then
that's pretty much
bar
half my
it,
songs.
which a lot of people struggle with bar chords, so it's not as easy as it looks necessarily. And the slide is essential.
I think, like, with a lot of my records, it's like my buddy Sam says, who I like write and work on all my shit with. He's like this skinny ginger guy called Look Mum No Computer, and he always says to me, "Yeah, but Barnes, like, if it's shit, then it's good."
That's the philosophy?
That's the philosophy of our records, yeah. Well, I just find, like, whenever we make records, if it's too well played, then it never sounds vibey. And we both play kind of shitty, but in the same way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, we got the same feel.
In the pocket, you're both in the same shitty pocket.
The shit pocket, yeah.
and then you probably do a few takes and end up going back to the first one because
usually,
the more takes you do of just about anything, the more of the essence you lose, I think.
And we're not drummers, so we make a lot of the percussion on, like, filing cabinets and shit. Or if we use a drum kit, we can't, like, play the fills, so we have to record one drum at a time and then, like, layer it all
build
up.
them all.
But it's weird. I've found that when I bring in session players and get them to play the parts, they just sound too straight, They don't sound like... They don't have, like, that vibe to them, that urgency.
Yeah. There's no grime to it.
Yeah, there's just something...
Too polished.
Exactly. sometimes that's what you need. Not for everybody.
It's great if you're Steely Dan, you
right?
know?
So if you're Steely
That's where you want to
Dan,
be.
then you're like spitting up all kinds of crazy
Right.
riffs.
Yeah, and it's just right there on point. But I think for the
can't all
nature
be
of your
Steely
music,
Dan.
that's incredible because I listened to the album and it sounds like a huge mix with 16 players that went into a giant room and just live tracked
It's
everything.
just me and Sam in his bedroom in a decommissioned old folks home in North London.
It's ridiculous.
When we like didn't have any money.
That's amazing.
And I used to go over there and I was like really depressed and he was living off like a can of beans a day. I mean, this guy looks like David Bowie, but like without the money for clothes.
So listen for that, listen for that on the record because...
And it's funny because like
sounds
no one's ever going to listen to that record and be like, oh my God, I love the scissor snips on the pre-chorus because you never hear that shit. But I think there's something to be said about when you bring all that together with the homemade percussion, the scissor snips and the film can hits and like hitting the old filing cabinet, it makes for a drum sound that you would never get anywhere else.
Right.
And like I'll never have that drum sound again because they knocked that place down and it doesn't exist anymore. So it's even unique for my own records, and I kind of like that about found percussion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a real sort of stomping march nature to it, the rhythms. And I thought it would be fun, instead of going to the theater and playing a show sometime, maybe you arrange everything for more of a marching band ensemble and play the whole set, marching through the city streets, and everybody can kind of fall in behind if they want and
so
grab
glad
anything
I thought
for
of that.
percussion.
I'm definitely going to do that. That's amazing.
It suits your music perfectly. I mean, it's a little different, but I think it might be
so
fun.
Cool. No, I'm totally down.
Might be fun. So is there a new full-length album coming then? Is that what
Yeah.
99 is kind of a preview of?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one on the new album because when I got in with Sam, he kind of immediately started to put together tracks that sounded like the first album. And I was like, dude, I'm bored of that stuff. I don't want to do that anymore. And I had a great time making it, don't get me wrong. But I just kind of felt like we were doing it for the sake of sounding the same as the first one.
So, and like you said, you can't capture that again anyway. So
exactly.
Why try?
And I think some of the people who supported me and got me to this point in my career, like my fans, they might be disappointed, but I couldn't make those records again. If I tried, they wouldn't be honest because I'm not in that place anymore. Like I think to be a real artist, you have to make songs that you genuinely feel compelled to make that are based on truths in your own life. And otherwise, you're not a genuine, real artist, right?
Yeah.
And I think when I made that first album, I was really depressed. Hadn't had any success for 3 years. I was working shitty jobs and like really struggling. And that was like, I found the blues accidentally. I didn't want to make a blues record. It's just what came out of me because depression and blues are often paired together, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're synonymous.
Sure.
And now that I get to, run around the stage like the Sugar Plum Fairy and like just make tunes every day, like I'm much happier. So the record's happier. And we added some synths and stuff and messed around with some electronics. So it's going to be different, but I hope people will be able to make that transition with me.
Are you putting the band together that's going to stick with you for those performances or just kind of pull hired guns on the road whenever you need to?
I mean, from the start, I never wanted to do it as like me at the front of my band behind the curtain. I want to be like Ziggy and the Spiders or like Springsteen and the E Street Band. So over the years, like as the ticket numbers get higher and higher, I've been able to like pull different people in. But it started just me and the drummer, and then my tour manager started playing bass. He's still playing bass now.
That's efficient use of people on the
Right?
road, right?
So we got this guitar player, and then eventually, I want like 2 guitarists and some backing singers and some keys, but building it.
Well, let me know, and I'll drag this thing along.
Yeah, dude, imagine that, and the marching band.
Right, the marching band. You could maybe borrow Odessa's
Steely
drum
Dan
corps.
can suck it.
Man, that is a ruthless thing to say, but they can. You're right. Okay, so E, couple bar chords, and then this,
It's like
which sounds great. Move that E chord all the way up. So go learn how to play 99. I think you can probably handle it. And thanks for showing us that today, man. I appreciate
thanks for
it.
having me in. I've never been asked to do that before.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's 91X.
91X.